It's no secret that Israel and Palestine have been going head to head for a very long time. Ever since the biblical times, ever since the time of Jacob and Esau in the Bible, in the Quran, Israel and Hamas or Palestine have been going at it for a very long time. They have been at war for thousands of years, and now the world is getting tired of these two states fighting. Now, a new development has come in where arrest warrants have been issued out by the ICC, which is the International Criminal Court, and these arrest warrants have been given out to 3 or 4 individuals, namely the Prime Minister of Israel, who is Benjamin Netanyahu. Now, in today's video, I'm going to discuss everything concerning what the ICC has done, or whether indeed it has jurisdiction to issue out arrest warrants. And also, we want to see whether indeed the issuance of these arrest warrants, which are done in the International Criminal Court, what impact do they have? Are they actually going to stop the war? Are they going to bring the people who are responsible for the recent war between Israel and Palestine? Is it going to come to peace after the issuance of these arrest warrants? So, in today's edition of Legal News Daily, let's get into and dive into what international arrest warrants are, what arrest warrants are, and most importantly, what impact this is going to have on the conflict between Israel and Palestine, in brackets, Hamas. So, welcome to Simply Legal, and let's discuss all of this moving forward. Welcome back to Legal News Daily. I'm your host, Counsel Terry Kahuma, who is going to discuss everything concerning what is happening concerning the war between Israel and Palestine. Now, I think all of us know what has been happening between Israel and Palestine. Like I said, this has been a biblical war, and it has been happening ever since the time of Abraham, Isaac. Isaac had his 2 sons, Jacob and Esau, and when the two split apart, then they created the 2 different states. They created Israel, which was from Jacob, and Palestine, which was from Esau. Now, the war has been going for a long time. It re-erupted last year in 2023 around October. But now, the whole point of this video is that the ICC, or the prosecutor for the ICC, who is Karim Khan. Karim Khan is a prosecutor for the court. Now, I want to just give a brief background of who a prosecutor is. As Simply Legal, we like to simplify the law for you creatively. And before I dive into this, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and most importantly, go to my legal mobile app called Fameron. Fameron is an app which connects people and lawyers together, offering so many services which helps bring access to justice and provision of legal services very easy. For those of you who may be in Palestine or Israel and you want to defend the leaders who have been issued out arrest warrants, please go onto the Fameron app, where you can be able to get lawyers that can defend anyone on an international level. Now, back to the point. A prosecutor is someone who is an officer of court, who basically is bringing someone to justice. So basically, a prosecutor is someone who takes a criminal to court. So prosecutors in most cases act on behalf of a state. So in the United States or the UK government, you can have what are called attorneys, but also in different countries and worldwide, we have what are called state attorneys or prosecutors. So the prosecutor, in the general sense, is a lawyer who basically defends the state or their country, and they are going against, or they are taking a criminal to court. Now that you've understood that, the International Criminal Court, which is the ICC, also has prosecutors who work within the ICC. International Criminal Court, as the way you hear it, we have different court systems. We have the commercial court, we have the magistrates courts, but the high court and the magistrates courts all over the world have their different criminal divisions. Now, in the world in general, we have the International Criminal Court and we have the International Court of Justice. Now, these two handle 2 different things. International Criminal Court is the one responsible for prosecuting and bringing to justice criminals of an international level. These can be people like, let's say, the late Osama bin Laden. This can be people like Saddam Hussein. This can be people like Joseph Kony, who was here in Uganda. So basically, criminals who have committed crimes against humanity are those people who are brought into the ICC. Now, the International Court of Justice is basically the court which is in between 2 states. If 2 states have a certain dispute between them, let's say now in terms of Israel and Palestine, then the International Court of Justice comes in. If the dispute has just come in, if Uganda has issues with the United States, then they are going to take the matter to the International Court of Justice. So I want you to understand the 2 courts differently. International Court of Justice is the court which presides over 2 conflicting states, meaning 2 conflicting countries. International Criminal Court is the court which presides over international criminals, especially criminals who have committed war crimes, crimes against humanity, torture, homicides, mass killings, genocides. So that's the International Criminal Court, and that is our subject matter today. Now, Karim Khan, who is the chief prosecutor in the ICC, which is the International Criminal Court, he filed applications issuing of arrest warrants for 5 big individuals. 3 of them are the top Hamas leaders. Hamas is a rebel group which is against Israel, and there are many based in Gaza or Palestine in general. Now, these 3 top leaders in Hamas have been issued out arrest warrants for, but also we have 2 prominent figures, one of them being Benjamin Netanyahu. Now, Netanyahu is the Prime Minister of Israel and is one of the biggest figures in the world in general. Netanyahu was among the people who had actually ordered the initial strike to Hamas. So I think you can now get the picture. Now, Karim Khan is saying that if it wasn't for Netanyahu sending missiles or sending the first attack to strike Gaza or to strike Palestine in general, then the war would not have reignited. Because I was saying the war has been a general thing that has been happening for decades. Each and every 200 years the war comes back, 40 years the war comes back. So what is an arrest warrant? An arrest warrant is basically a legal document which is issued out by a competent court, and it is meant to be able to arrest the person who the arrest warrant is meant for. So in very simple terms, an arrest warrant is a legal document which is issued out by a competent court to be able to arrest an individual who the court or the prosecutor of that court believes that this particular individual who is being arrested had something to do with a very horrendous crime. It can be a capital offense like murder, genocide, mass killings, homicides. So basically, an arrest warrant can be issued out by any court. If it's within a different a country or a state, an arrest warrant can be issued out by a magistrate's court, by a high court, criminal division. And now, like for example, in Uganda, we have different acts which are responsible for issuing out arrest warrants. We have the Magistrates Courts Act, we have the Trial and Indictment Act, and also we have the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda 1995 as amended. Now, when you come to the international level, now we have domestic law and we have international law. When you come on an international level, we have the International Criminal Court, which is the ICC. The ICC is the biggest court, is the biggest criminal court in the world. It has unlimited jurisdiction to be able to issue out arrest warrants to any particular individual. Now, for the prosecutor, who is Karim Khan, to be able to ask the ICC to issue out arrest warrants for Benjamin Netanyahu and all these other Hamas leaders, it means he has shown that they have probable cause for bringing Netanyahu and these other Hamas leaders to trial, because he's stating that Netanyahu being on the Israeli side and the different 3 Hamas leaders being on the other side, they are the key players in bringing war between Israel and Palestine. So if it wasn't for these 5 individuals who the arrest warrants are being issued out to, then the war would not have been reignited. Now, who can issue out an arrest warrant? The fact that the ICC, which is the International Criminal Court, is a competent court to be able to issue out these arrest warrants, then it means that any country which is subscribed to the International Criminal Court has jurisdiction to be able to arrest any of these people who have been issued out arrest warrants for. So meaning all the countries which signed and ratified, meaning that they have now sworn allegiance to the International Criminal Court, they are participating in every aspect of the ICC. Let's say there are 150 countries or 100 countries which have signed and ratified belonging to, or they are subject to, what the International Criminal Court says. Then if Benjamin Netanyahu and the other Hamas leaders are in Uganda and Uganda signed and ratified to belonging to the International Criminal Court, or they are subject to whatever the International Criminal Court says, then Netanyahu can be arrested in Uganda, in Kenya, in the United States, in even Palestine, in Israel. So the fact that a country signed and ratified to belong or to have an affiliation to the International Criminal Court, that means that arrest warrant can work for any of the countries where the ICC has jurisdiction over. Now, even if the ICC does not have jurisdiction over a certain or particular type of country, let's say Israel and Palestine did not belong to or did not sign and ratify to, let's say, the Rome Statute. Now, even if that happens, there can be different circumstances and exceptions under which this particular individual can be arrested in countries where the ICC does not have jurisdiction. But we'll get into that much later. That in the particular aspect I wanted to explain is that what is an arrest warrant? Does the ICC have jurisdiction to issue out arrest warrants? Number one, I said an arrest warrant is a legal document that is given out to arrest an individual who the court deems is a criminal or has committed war crimes. Then the ICC, yes, has jurisdiction to issue out these arrest warrants because it is a competent court that can do it. And number three, what are the impacts of, or what is the impact of the issuance of this arrest warrant? Now, the fact that Benjamin Netanyahu, the other Israeli leader, and the other three Hamas leaders in Gaza, the fact that these arrest warrants have been issued out to them, it means that any time that they are caught in any of the major countries which have signed and ratified to being affiliated to the International Criminal Court or subject to the International Criminal Court, they can be arrested in, let's say, 80 to 100 countries where the ICC, which is the International Criminal Court, has jurisdiction. So I wanted you to get that picture properly. Now, let's just see how everything is going to go concerning these arrest warrants. Let us see whether indeed Benjamin Netanyahu, who is the Prime Minister of Israel, and these other Hamas leaders, let us see how things are going to pan out for them. Let us see whether indeed the International Criminal Court is actually going to hold them accountable for crimes against humanity. Now, I want us to get one thing clear. Karim Khan, who is the Chief Prosecutor of the International Criminal Court, is saying that especially Benjamin Netanyahu, who is the Prime Minister of Israel, the fact that he sent the first strike to Gaza and Gaza was relying so much on Israel, the fact that Israel has put a lot of stringent mechanisms on Gaza to starve the children, to starve the people, to bring a lot of unsettlement and discomfort to the people of Israel, then that is the major reason why Karim Khan, who is the chief prosecutor in ICC, is bringing Benjamin Netanyahu and the other Israeli leader to court. The Hamas leaders, of course, for them, they have been at it for a very long time in terms of fighting, bring a lot of turmoil to Israel, to Palestine and Gaza. But let's just see how everything goes. Until next time, I'm yours truly, Terry Kahuma. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and let's just see who knows, you could have an arrest warrant that has been issued out to you who is actually watching this video. But like I said, we have a legal mobile app called Fameron, which connects people and lawyers together. So if you find yourself in Israel, find yourself in Gaza, and you need representation, let's say your father has been also issued out an arrest warrant for, please go into the app. We have lawyers of an international level who will be able to protect you, be able to defend you in court, and let's just see how everything goes moving forward. Until next time, I will see you. Bye.